Today for the Bitcoin price with DavinciJ15, we will talk about Bitcoin and the simple fact that Bitcoin is right now breaking out and that we are heading towards a massively important key level for Bitcoin. If we were able to surpass that and close above, we will have a new massive price target to look out for with DavinciJ15. But also in the second part of the video, we will talk about the coronavirus, which is spreading right now as we speak, and the likelihood of it increasing the global economic uncertainty and also the impact on the Bitcoin price, especially in the long run. Guys, you will definitely be very excited to hear everything about that, but also DavinciJ15 has a very interesting theory right now about Bitcoin being in a super cycle, and we will talk about the likelihood of the Bitcoin price reaching, and now guys, sit down, 1.2 million US dollars within the next 4 years until the end of 2023. Guys, this will be jam-packed, so make sure you take a seat, make sure you smash up the like button right now, and we want to come to the most important question of today. DavinciJ15, how are you doing today, my man?
I'm feeling excited about Bitcoin. I hope everybody that's watching this video is hodling away their Bitcoins for the long term because, man, we've got a bright future ahead. How are you doing today?
Man, it's amazing. Just as you said, man, every morning I'm standing up and I'm so happy to be alive. I'm so happy to be in Bitcoin and having all that knowledge already. And with the majority of people out there in the world, they don't even know about Bitcoin. They don't know about the properties. We can be so happy to be educated about it already. So that being said, Da Vinci, it's a great time to be alive, and yeah, let's get straight into it. Guys, first of all, we start with the Bitcoin TA in the short and mid run. Then we will go over to the coronavirus and the impact on the Bitcoin price. That will be extremely interesting. And in the end, Supercycle, 1.2 million US dollars within 4 years. So, Da Vinci, the stage is yours. Let's start with Bitcoin.
Well, as you know, Bitcoin is headed up to is at the $9,000 level. Now, this is a little bit of resistance here, right? It's got to break through hard, and it doesn't look like it wants to do that on the daily time frame. But we have to wait and see. The good news is that we're above the 200-day moving average. We still have to close the day above that, and that will give us enough momentum maybe to push us through. But we have to wait and see. This is a trade location for the shorts. Right, this area, this red box zone is where the shorts like to hit Bitcoin. So don't be surprised if we roll over and maybe even put a little bit of a handle to produce a nice cup and handle to break through. So that's also a possibility. I would not be going long here because it's too late. You should have been going long down here. Now, notice that, remember what I said, we were supposed to get to the 8100. We did not get quite up there, down there. It was close enough. I mean, we were like 8200. And yeah, maybe we should start sprinkling our buy orders when we do get into these ups and downs, and we want to do like quick scalps on Bitcoins over the next few days, because it's not exactly coming all the way back to the 38.2. Because now if I draw 38.2, you can see I pretty much expected it to come back to the 38.2, but it did not do it exactly. Here it is, 38.2. See, not quite, almost there, but not quite. Now, with that said, keep in mind there is a gap down here on the CME future, so don't be surprised if we try to test that gap before we actually head up higher. So don't be in so much of a rush to go long here. And we have to also, if we do break out, we could get up to this point, which is, let's see, this point is 9,200, I think, or 9,300 right here. Hang on, right there. That's 9,250, no, 9,300 actually, 9,300, 9,288. So if we get up there and we start seeing some sort of divergence on the hourly, I would watch out, because this is a trade location when we do an AB equals CD, and so it's possible that Bitcoin reverses at this point. And same with up here at 9,700 approximately, 9,688. So again, watch out for some divergence in those areas for a reversal. Should we get up to any of those points and see divergence, that's where we should trade with caution. If we are going along, I think you should either look for taking profits up there or moving your stop losses up at these locations to lock in some profits as well. So yeah, that's my TA for Bitcoin in the short term. This is really positive, right? We broke down below the 13 AMA on a daily, and then broke back up really fast. So that means Bitcoin is in a positive mood. So look for more moves higher than lower for the foreseeable future.
Yes, yes. So we are talking about right now the price of 9,288. We will be probably fighting with, and we actually have to close above, right? To just to say that we will not be rolling over. Otherwise, you say there's a significant chance of us rolling over. Are we talking about only today or within the next few days?
I would say the next few days you have to wait and see if we don't close this candle above the 200-day moving averages. That's very bad. But if we do, that's good. But still, we have to wait and see if we stay above the 13 AMA. We don't have to close this gap in the CME. We could always just go higher, but I would watch out because that could also mean that, hey, you know what, we don't break above the 10,000 level, and then we have to retest the 8,100 level before we actually go higher. So
Yes.
that's a concern.
Yeah, and as you said previously, before we started recording, this is a make or break situation, actually. So if Bitcoin closes above, the next target is 9,300 approximately, and then we have to watch out what's going to happen from there. But for everyone who's interested in that, we will share that specific trading setup once again in our free Telegram group. You will find that here in our pinned comment, secret free Telegram group. Click on that link in our pinned comment. DaVinci is there, the MMCrypto team is there, I'm there, and we can all chat together. Also, guys, just above you can see like it's ending very soon. You get a free reward up to $400 on Bybit. If you click it, it's only for experienced traders, and here you have the instructions how to get it. Up to $400 only for experienced traders, and very important, even more important, the free Telegram link down below. That being said, DaVinci, that was the TA on Bitcoin, but yeah, right now, even more important, everyone is talking about it. What is the coronavirus and how is it maybe even impacting the Bitcoin price? Just before you start with your thoughts, I want to remind the people on something. Remember, a few days back or a few weeks back with the Iran crisis spreading and with all these tweets from Donald Trump and everything. And what I wanted to show you just very quickly before we start here with DaVinci's very, very specific and important thoughts, this is the Global Economic Uncertainty Policy Index. And what you can see right now, within the last few years, this was going parabolic. The whole global economy is getting more and more uncertain as the time passes. And with these events, this chart here is only going until December. Once you see January, this will spike even more towards the upside. And what we can see recently with all these events like Iran and now also the coronavirus, you can basically see that uncertainty, whether it is global economic uncertainty or global economic policy uncertainty, drives safe haven asset prices higher. And I think we can all agree that we as Bitcoiners, we are on the side that Bitcoin might be a safe haven asset in the future. And now, DaVinci, please, can you share your thoughts? What is all of that about? And I can already let the audience know you definitely don't want to miss out on that.
Yes. Well, basically, they're discussing whether or not Bitcoin is a safe haven asset, basically. Is it getting a bid because of the global uncertainty? It's too early to say for sure that that's the case. It's looking more and more like that because let's think about it for a second. What are the odds of Bitcoin going to zero at this point in time? I would say less than 1%. A lot of eyeballs have been looking at the source code. A lot of eyeballs have been looking at the math. I mean, the math has been around for many decades now. And so many people already know whether or not it can be broken. And so we've determined that it can't be broken. And so is the organization of that mathematical algorithm to create Bitcoin a solid idea? And yes, we all agree, all the developers and everyone who's looked at source code agree that this is a solid idea. And the game theory of mining and so forth has proven itself unbelievably successful with a massive mining going on the Bitcoin network. So effectively, Bitcoin is a safe haven asset in my mind, and I don't know if it's in the minds of everybody else that's watching, but that's all up to the individual person. And so, yeah, I see Bitcoin getting the bid from people who are, fearful of the global uncertainty and taking advantage of an asset that has asymmetrical risk. I mean, you've got less than 1% in my mind that can go to zero, and it can go to incredible heights of millions and millions of dollars in the future, right? If you're holding just the Bitcoin currency. So that's how I feel about it. What do you think, Chris?
Yes, yes. For me, it's the same. And I mean, we can always talk about opinions and stuff, but looking at the actual prices, I mean, the correlation, the macro correlation zooming out is not all too high between Bitcoin and gold, for example. But if you look at that micro events where you have the uncertainty spiking extremely high within a few days to the upside, that's the exact time where you can actually see a high correlation between institutional safe haven assets and Bitcoin already. Zooming out in the macro time frame, you cannot really see it because it's so many exogenous factors actually impacting the Bitcoin price, which have nothing to do with gold, for example, like adoption, tech development, number of developers, I don't know, like fear and greed. All of that is not impacting the gold so much. So that's why in the macro time, you do not see so much of a correlation right now. But these micro events point towards the fact that whenever we see a massive breakout of uncertainty with a financial crisis, currency crisis, debt crisis, whatever, banks bailing out, whatever it might be in the future, that is already pointing towards the fact that Bitcoin might play just the same role as gold, but with Bitcoin having such a much lower market cap, of course, the upside is way higher in percentage terms. So, DaVinci, regarding that, you talked about the coronavirus. What's extremely interesting also is your theory, the theory about the supercycle. And there's one very specific price prediction with a time frame, which completely blew my mind because I haven't heard about that before. And I'm pretty sure it will be the same for the audience right now.
Yes. So this fund manager is saying that the Bitcoin supercycle is set to storm the world, says this guy. And he's basically saying that, based on the past history, we've seen like 35x returns and so forth and high runs. Now, I agree with him, but in a different way, not just based on the history of the market, right? Because Bitcoin could easily just do the same thing it's been doing over and over again. But there is a certain thing called when it comes to software adoption, right? Basically, we have like the early adopters, right, or basically the innovators, who people who first see the advantage of Bitcoin, and those are the geeky types, the techie types, right? For example, the people who were into encryption were the very first people to see Bitcoin and invest their time, their computer power, and their resources into Bitcoin.
Rest in peace, Hal Finney, man. Hal Finney, exactly. one of the greatest.
Exactly. And so those people, right, were the very first people to get into Bitcoin and make quite serious gains. But now I think we're at this point where we've ended this point here. We're somewhere jumping over the chasm to this point here, where 34% of the population will be jumping into Bitcoin. So think about that for a second. If 16% of the population of the people who would be interested in using Bitcoin in the first place, because keep in mind, you have to consider this acceleration rule only includes people who would actually use Bitcoin in their everyday lives. So not talking about people who will never get interested in Bitcoin ever, like Peter Schiff's, right? You have to exclude them from the list, right? And there are certain sets of people that will never be into this, never use Bitcoins, even if it becomes a global macro standard, they'll just refuse to use it. Right. So assuming that, right, we could be jumping into this chasm and then getting double the amount of people interested, and those people are going to be interested not because they understand the technology. Now, think about that for a second. How many of you right now have read the source code and know for sure that Bitcoin will only have 21 million Bitcoins in the future being created? Not many, less than 21 actually million. Not many, right? Very few of you. You just believe what somebody else has told you. And these people are just going to be believers. There's going to be a different message to them. The banks are going to sell this message to them. and they're going to sell it to them as, hey, you know what, this is changing the world, you want to jump on board, right, before you get left behind, kind of deal. And so that would be the message coming forward. And I think we're going to be in this super cycle where double the amount of people are jumping in on Bitcoin that we are right now, and that would mean a 400%, because last time, right, it was always 200% increase. So we might see a 400% increase from the bottom on Bitcoin.
Quick
And
math lesson here. Quick math lesson: 3,000 times 400. Wait, not 400%. Da Vinci, what are you? You mean 400x?
400x.
400x. So 3,000 times 400x is 1.2 million US dollars. Just to make sure that everyone got that message right now.
Exactly. So that's a huge gain. Now, again, that would mean we have to wait for this. The late majority still has an option to actually get profit from this, but not as much as everybody else has done. So we probably won't see a large. That will probably be the last big hoorah for Bitcoin before we see. Bitcoin will continue going higher. But and we'll have probably one more big move up, but I don't think it will be that big as the super cycle is. So I think we might be seeing we're at the cusp of something huge, and these are the last people. You are the early majority, the early majority, or the early adopters who got in before the early majority.
I want to make something clear here. We never know what's going to happen. So far, we were always only counting from the history of the Bitcoin price itself, and then growth must be decelerating usually. But this specific theory shows you that at a later point of time, actually the growth can be still accelerating, even though the cycles before have been decelerating in growth. And this is something like an S-curve, where you start like this, and then you have this extremely parabolic uprun in that early majority space, and then it is slowing down. So this is another theory, and it's extremely interesting to look at it like that it's not necessarily like a decelerating curve with decreasing returns to scale. There can increasing, then decreasing, and then increasing returns to scale, and towards the end, towards we reach the mainstream, again decreasing returns to scale. So Da Vinci, thanks for bringing that up, because we have to be prepared. We have to be prepared whenever Bitcoin reaches 200,000. Well, maybe keep a little bit for that little super cycle theory in your pockets, right? So
exactly.
Thank you so much for that. It was an extremely bullish episode once again. Like always, actually. So it was amazing to talk with you about all these amazing things. I hope really that everyone enjoyed that. If you really enjoy it, please just go below the video, click the like button. It is completely for free for you. And for us, it really it makes us so happy to see all the likes popping in. But now, Da Vinci, also very important. Is there any news about Pandora's Wallet? Anything you would like to share? Because I can see like more and more people being interested in that right now.
Yeah, right now I'm going to be releasing the next version will have finally have an auto update. So when you close the application, it will automatically update whenever we have new versions out. So you don't have to go and download it and install it yourself. It will actually do that for you. So yeah, I'm really excited for that. And we're also going to add a ton of new features to allow you to quickly trade with the little lady style of trading. So yeah, I'm looking forward to showing you all of those new features that will be available in the next version, which will be released on Friday. And wow, it's going to blow your mind, and it's going to make you it makes it a lot easier to trade the little lady style. One other thing before we close is I want to show off Carolina's blog. Right, she's doing an excellent job here, and I'd like to, if you're interested in reading what she has to say, please check out her blog at davincicodes.net/blog. Right, she's an excellent writer, and I would like everybody to show her a little bit of love. Thank you.
Yes, I met her already. She's really, really cool. I mean, the way she's writing, it's very easy to understand, a lot of information packed very easily. It's very entertaining. So I can really recommend everyone to go there and read that blog post. Also to download Pandora's Wallet. Actually, it is already easy to use. And these things like the automatic updates, it sounds like a small thing, but it's so important. We need the ease of use, and Pandora's Wallet is already so easy to use. use with the automatic updates. It's getting even easier. So I can really see that you are really driving for the mainstream to use your Partnerhouse wallet. That's already amazing. Small little break in the end. We forgot to talk about that. Do you remember the last DavinciJ15 episode? And we talked about a certain basket of altcoins actually ready to pump to the upside. It was Bitcoin SV, Bitcoin Gold, Bitcoin Cash, like all of these. And guys, I mean, you can go to the charts yourself and check out what happened immediately after the episode. We saw pumps of, yeah, show it, 16%, 13%. And another like 23%. Yeah, wow, crazy. And the yellow circles are the upload time of the last video. So yeah, man, that was amazing, Da Vinci. Thanks for that. And hopefully everyone in the comments will let us know that they made some significant gains with that, of course, after their own research. So thank you so much, Da Vinci. And yeah, any last words to say before we wrap it up for today?
Yeah, always play from a position of strength and don't get wrecked.
Don't get wrecked, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see each other very soon at the next one of MMCrypto. Also, a subscription box is popping up here. Click on the subscription box and subscribe to our channel, and the Bybit tutorial is popping up right here. And as always, guys, as always, bye-bye.